This cat is really built for speed. It's a cheetah, the fastest animal on land. Cheetahs have been clocked at speeds of up to 70 miles per hour. You can tell the difference between a cheetah and other wildcats by its distinctive tear-stripe markings, its streamlined body, and its small head, but only if it stands still long enough to catch a glimpse. Hi, I'm Jack Hanna. Join me on Zoo Life to learn more about the animals of the world. To me, there's not a more thrilling sight than the animals of Africa running free across the open plains. We're on safari, but this is not Africa. This is the American West. And we're about 75 miles south of Dallas, Texas, where the African animals roam right alongside the animals from Asia and America. And many of these are endangered species. And they found a refuge here, a home on the range. What was once Texas cattle country is now a 3,000-acre spread called Fossil Rim. It's also home to another endangered species, the American cowboy. At Fossil Rim, the hired hands tend bucking broncos, too wild for a rodeo ride. Cowboys here care for and breed animals that are vanishing or are already extinct in the wild.
Where's your camera?
We took a 3-day safari through Fossil Rim that brought us closer to wild animals than most African expeditions. Safari campers traveled from as far away as New York, Maryland, and Washington, D.C.
I must tell you that this is a very unique thing for the three couples. We're celebrating 120 years of marriage together.
Seeing all the sights.
40 of us each.
That's why we came.
40 years each
Of marriage. To the same person.
Our naturalist, Nick Davis, whisked us off by jeep to the Foothill Safari Camp, deep in the heart of Fossil Rim.
Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome everyone to the Foothill Safari Camp of Fossil Rim, and to say it's a pleasure to have everyone here.
It was clear from the beginning that roughing it would never be so easy. This was going to be the ultimate camping trip. This is the lodge here?
That's right. This is where we'll meet early tomorrow morning when we go out on our first game drive.
Wow.
And down over here we have the watering hole where in the evening hours all the animals will come down.
It's just like Africa.
That's right. And this is your tent where you're going to be spending the night.
Boy, this is nice, man. Whew. This isn't like the Army.
Nope.
What about animals and things?
There's the odd snake that'll slide in during the evening hours, but you don't have to worry too much about that.
As in Africa, dawn is the time when it is cool. The animals are alert. There is a feeling of expectancy. This is the time to witness nature's dramas unfold.
What's the dark animal?
This is the male black buck, and he's native to India. Black bucks are very territorial. See how the way he's walking and his ears are held down and his tail, when it was curled up, he's now gone back down. It's one of the kind of threat gestures they have between other males, because they're kind of warning the one male that this is the edge of his boundary. And usually if the other male won't back off, what they'll do is they'll turn around and they'll have a fight.
Yeah, Nick, he'll vouch for this. There might be the... Look, see, he's right on the road. He's going to attack the bus, or he's going to attack the Jeep. Melvin, take a picture before you eat your hat. Melvin, watch it, Melvin! Oh, no!
Don't keep that thing away from me. I don't like ostrich. I don't like ostrich. Hey. Oh, here he comes right here. He comes right here, right here, right here. He's coming. Oh, he likes you, Nick. Look at there. Oh. Now, I guarantee you on safari you don't see this. Wow. Holy mackerel. Pig. Get out of here. Aren't you going to choke, Nick? No. Huh? Look at that. See, look at that. If you notice, he's putting all the feed right here. Now, if you watch his neck in a few minutes, you'll see it all slide down his neck.
What you're seeing here today is just as good as you're going to see on safari in many ways. I mean, it's just, you can't duplicate it any more than what they've done here at Fossil Rim. Aren't those scimitar oryx? Man, there's only a few of them left in the wild.
These come from over in Africa.
Are you breeding them here?
What we're trying to do is build up a captive situation here and build the numbers up. And I mean, the ultimate goal is to take some of these animals and start to reintroduce them back into the wild. So if you like, a lot of the zoos in Fossil Rim are becoming modern-day Noah's Arks. And we're bringing them in 2 by 2, and we're keeping them here in these facilities until kind of the floodwaters of destruction can go down, and we can actually start reintroducing them. Does everybody want to run in real quick and get a cup of coffee and warm up?
Hey, Chef John, what's for dinner? Been out on safari all day. I'm hungry.
There you go.
Man, I'm hungry.
Start with vegetables here. We're gonna have a little roast tenderloin tonight, some grilled salmon.
The experience here isn't just, you know, I've already eaten one of your meals. It isn't just going on a safari.
Right.
It's knowing that I'm not going to come back and eat some rubber duck. You know, I'm talking about some chicken you flop against the wall, some bread you wouldn't even feed a fish with. Right. I mean, look at these things. What do you got all these apples anyway? It looks like grass.
Huh? Red skin potatoes with some rosemary on.
Oh, I'll show you. I've been on safari too long. Dinner is served in the glass-walled dining pavilion. Africa was never like this. Here's a toast to the chef. Yeah, the best food in Texas, in Africa, and everywhere.
That's right.
I think I hear wolves out here at Fossil Rim. They told me it wasn't dangerous. I know better. I'm going back to my tent. I'm out of here. It's hard to believe that 66 million years ago, Fossil Rim used to be part of the Gulf of Mexico. Dinosaurs actually used to live here. And what's even more amazing is that all these fossils are everywhere. And to be this old, I guess that's how they got the name Fossil Rim. These life forms from the dinosaur age have long been extinct. Today, Fossil Rim's mission is to rescue as many species as possible before they too meet the same fate. Top priority is given to breeding the rare African white rhino. Just hours old, the first white rhino ever born at Fossil Rim brings hope for the future breeding of these ancient creatures. Weighing in at 120 pounds at birth, this baby will gain strength and begin to grow until it reaches its adult weight of around 3 tons. But no greater success story can be told than that of Fossil Rim's cheetah breeding efforts. There are as few as 5,000 cheetahs left in the wild. Successful captive breeding is critical to the cheetah's immediate survival. Historically, cheetahs have not bred well in captivity, but at Fossil Rim, 63 cheetahs have been born in the last 8 years. I wanted to find out what the secret to success is in breeding this incredible animal. So I went behind the scenes with Fossil Rim Animal Care Coordinator, Kelly Snodgrass. So this is one of your cheetah compounds?
Right, we have 2 different cheetah facilities. This area back here, we can provide a semi-natural area, and this is one that the public does not see on their normal drive-through. Driving down the road when we're coming to feed, they run along the fence, and these pins are long enough where they can get to a pretty good speed. I've clocked one up to 50 miles an hour along this road.
Wow. Wow, look at him coming, man. Look at that one go.
There we go, there we go.
Wow. Cool. Go, here's one right here. Look at this one. Cool. Woo-hoo-hoo. They can move, can't they?
Yep.
Come on, Keenan. Come on, Keenan.
They're made for speed. Everything about them's made for speed, and that's the way you want to keep. You want to keep them in good condition. You don't want to feed them all that they'll eat, otherwise you wind up with fat cheetah that just, you know, that are not good breeders. You want them to be lean, healthy cats.
You know, there's no way we can give them the amount of exercise that they would get in the wild, so we've got to regulate their body condition with diet and then whatever exercise we can give them.
Okay, we're going to play ball now, right, Kelly?
You bet. This is what I was saying earlier about trying to exercise them as much as we can.
I'm staying right behind you.
All right.
I'm like glue, man.
You know, when there's more of them, they try to get around behind you, and that's when it gets exciting, when they, you know, they get behind you. Give it a good heave.
Here I go. Oh, I see. That activity stimulates them like a kill.
Absolutely.
I guess that really helps.
It does. It doesn't seem like much, but when you combine this little bit of activity with the activity before they're fed, and you know, the activity they get through the day by seeing the animals outside of their enclosure, and you know, stirring some of those instinctive processes that go on in their mind, I think it all adds up.
I never met anybody that takes care of cheetahs that wears boots and a cowboy hat. That's cool. In the zoo business, I gotta wear this dumb safari suit.
I'll tell you what, there's a reason for this apparel. They will slap your feet every now and then, so you've got to have something on them.
Owners Jim Jackson and Christine Jerzakowski seem intent on making Fossil Rim one of the leading conservation centers in the world, as well as an appealing tourist attraction. Have you been to Africa a lot before?
We've been to Africa this many times.
No,
We've never been to Africa.
Wait a minute now. Neither one of you have ever been to Africa.
Never.
I've been to Africa 16 times. I've been there. The point is, this is exactly how you would do it in Africa, and you're telling me neither one of you have been to Africa.
Well, this was our vision of how it should be done, but that didn't mean it's the right way. It was our dream of how it should be.
Now, when you were both children, did you have pets?
I spent some years in my childhood in Brazil, in the Amazon, and that's where I got the bug. But I never followed it. I'm not a scientist in any way. It's just an understanding that somehow we're all part of one big whole, and it would be a shame to lose so many of its parts.
So for the people watching, it just proves that you don't have to have a doctor's degree in biology or be a zoo director or be anybody like this to save wildlife. At the turn of the century, pioneer towns still thrived in the Lone Star State. Here at the Fort Worth Zoo, a slice of Texas in the 1800s has been recreated. Children can explore a frontier town and view animal life that existed when the buffalo roamed the range.
Neighborhood.
Neighborhood. N-E-I-G-H-B-O-R-H-O-O-D. Neighborhood.
In a one-room schoolhouse, 20th century kids learn 19th century lessons. I got one. Hippopotamus.
H-I-P-P-O-T.
Now, when's lunchtime? I'm hungry.
12:30.
Oh, man. What about playtime?
Playtime's after that.
Playtime's after that?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you want to go play now?
Yeah!
Cool, let's go. See you later, Teach.
See you, Teach.
Okay, kids, they're a lesson in milking cows, all right? Randall Weems is in charge of the Fort Worth Zoo Texas exhibit. First thing you do is know it's a cow. This is what is this, Randy? Jersey? Holstein. That's what I thought, Holstein. You grab this thing right here, and where's Randy? Oh, that's right. I knew there was something I was missing. Anyway, am I right, Randy? Grab up here like this. And get kicked over. We let you milk for breakfast, will it? Huh? Okay, now, here we go, I got it. Oops. That's the way Wait a minute, I'll get it going here. Just hold it a minute.
Yeah, you waste the milk.
That'll teach you. That's real funny, right, kid? Yep.
You're on your own. Jack, I'm gonna tell you right now, they're gonna mob you when you shake that bucket.
Hey, 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 hey. Easy, easy, hey, hey, hey. Come on, boys, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah.
Rescue that.
Reminds me of the old days down on the farm.
Very good.
Pretty good, huh?
Pretty good.
Try one more time. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Now, what are these things here?
These are javelinas or collared peccaries.
Collared peccary?
Uh-huh. They're a small animal native to South Texas, Arizona, and New Mexico, and they're related to pigs, but they're not really a true pig.
Looks like a pig.
They look a whole lot like a pig.
Wow.
This is a skull of a 52-pound boar, which is fairly good size for a javelina boar.
That's unbelievable.
And if you'll notice, when these things, when their mouth open closes, they're automatic sharpening. But unlike a boar, where a boar can slash his head from side to side, these guys have to actually grab hold and physically bite.
Boy, I hope I don't ever run into a javelina.
That'd be pretty rough, Jack.
Maybe a jalapeno, but not a javelina.
That'd be a little better.
Now, these animals here look like deer.
Some of them are white-tailed deer and some of them are pronghorns or pronghorn antelope. Some people call them antelope, but they're not really a true antelope. They're native to West Texas. There used to be pronghorns all over the middle part of the United States with the buffalo.
Huh. What's that over there, a buffalo?
These are a buffalo or American bison.
This animal almost became extinct.
They almost became extinct from a high of anywhere between 35 million to 100 million
35 million? And to think there were only 900 left at one time.
They're coming back pretty good. Latest figures U.S. Fish and Wildlife's got, they're between 75 and 110,000 of them.
The animals at the Fort Worth Zoo remind us that the passing of a way of life does not have to doom the creatures who share that life with us. Boy, you sure don't dilly-dally around here. That's because we're in Dilley, Texas, watermelon capital of the world, located halfway between San Antonio and Laredo. These parts are also home to an unusual colony of Japanese immigrants, and they have a social life that's as fascinating as any Dallas TV soap opera. And Lou Griffin here is going to show me all about it. Howdy! How y'all doing? Hey, Lou. How you kids doing?
Hi.
All right. I noticed some cattle out there.
Yeah, they run quite a few head on this ranch. This is a medium-sized ranch for this part of Texas. It's about 40,000 acres.
40,000 acres? Are we about there, Lou? This is taking forever.
We're almost there. It seems like forever. People sometimes say we have the longest front driveway in the world.
You wouldn't have believed me if I told you. So now you can see for yourself. This Texas ranch is home to a colony of 500 Japanese macaques, or snow monkeys. It's called the South Texas Primate Observatory. Lou Griffin is the director, and she comes out most every day with her children to feed the troop. Oh, hey! Hey! You took my bananas! You took it right out of my pocket!
Of course.
Is there any kind of controlled feeding here, or is it just come and get it? Hey, we have some manners here! Lou, what's happening here? This looks like total chaos.
That's exactly what it is. It's total chaos. You've got the lower-ranking animals coming up to snitch the good stuff as quickly as they can. Right in front of you is Rocket, who's Rocky's youngest brother.
Where's Rocket?
Rocket's right in front of you, stealing peaches.
Hey, Rocket, you like this piece? Look at him. He's actually spoiled. This animal actually. Look at him.
Because his oldest brother is the king, and he knows it, so he can do anything he wants to, because if you mess with him, his brother will beat you up. And it works in monkey society and human society.
What was he trying to do to me?
He's just trying to push you off. Exactly that. Exactly what
Rocket,
he wanted
hey,
to
Rocket!
do.
Lou, how often do you feed these?
These guys are fed once a day. Every day they're fed grain and cattle cubes and monkey chow. And then once a week or twice a week they get produce like this. So this is a big treat.
I have never seen anything like this in my entire life. I've been a lot of places.
Hey! Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, what happened? Oh, wow.
So that's...
Whoa! What happened there?
That's one of the teenage males who came in where he wasn't supposed to be. So what he did, it's called redirect aggression. He got picked on, so he started picking on somebody else, and then somebody else started picking on somebody else. Sort of like your standard office hierarchy. If you get beat up, then you beat up on somebody else.
Okay, I'm out of here.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay, let's go, Mary. Good girl.
My job is to kick the grain out.
A little at a time, because we've got a half a mile of road to go down.
Boy, I'm gonna be a mess when I get through here. Woo. Come on, monkeys, come on! This is more fun than a barrel of monkeys. Are they all eating?
Hey, Lou?
Yeah?
What'd you sit in?
I think that's called monkey poop.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
Wee.
Can you throw some? Throw some in the ribs? Throw it. Good girl. I'm throwing it. Yes. Good girl. Do what you're doing. Okay, I will.
Boy, I gotta clean up all this trash when we're done. The macaques may be at home now with mesquite, cactus, and scorching Texas summers. But 20 years ago, in their native Japan, they lived in a mountain forest outside the city of Kyoto, swimming in hot springs to keep warm during the snowy winters. Scientists began studying their relatives in 1954. 12 years later, when one troop started getting too close to neighboring towns, the researchers looked for a new home for the monkeys. They finally found one on the ranch of wealthy Texan Edward Dryden. After Dryden died, his widow asked an anthropology student who had been studying the monkeys to find them another place to live. That student was Lou Griffin, and in 1980 she moved the animals here. Since then, she has almost single-handedly and without salary provided for the troop.
So these animals are amazingly aquatic. In Japan, they swim in the thermal pools to stay warm where it's snowing, and in Texas, they swim to stay cool.
Snow monkeys have an uncanny ability to figure things out, adapt them to their own advantage, and then pass on the knowledge to a new generation. Perhaps that's why they're one of the most studied primates in the world. Lou, how long have you been out here studying these monkeys?
I've been out here 10 years watching these guys, learning from these guys.
Speaking of monkeys, who's this here?
This is Griffin, and she's been helping me for 2 years because she's 2 years old. We've got 2 monkeys that have grown up with the other monkeys. And these monkeys are very tolerant of their own offspring, and they're very tolerant of these human children.
So in other words, they have a real strict family structure.
For snow monkeys, the society is built on the family. So even an old guy like Groucho, he's still close to all his family. He was born in Japan and raised in Japan. He still speaks Japanese.
What do you mean they speak Japanese? This is a monkey.
Well, it's one of the things that's fun to talk about. You're right, they don't speak a language. They have a system of communication, technically. But we had a Japanese researcher come, and he took the Texas calls back and played them in Japan. And the Japanese monkeys didn't speak Texan, which of course means that in Japan you don't need words or systems of communication for cactus, for rattlesnake.
So in other words, when these monkeys here see a rattlesnake, they make a certain call. And in Japan, that monkey wouldn't understand what the rattlesnake call is.
Exactly, because they don't have snake predators in Japan. They don't have rattlesnakes, so they don't need that symbol of communication. So Groucho is a bilingual monkey. He speaks Japanese and he speaks Texan.
Give me a word in Japanese.
Unfortunately, I can't speak Japanese myself.
I got something. Sushi. Sushi, Groucho. Sushi. That's a peanut. Now, Lou, who is this? He looks like the boss.
This is the king. This is the boss. This is Rocky. He's the alpha male. See how gently he takes those peanuts? That's because he doesn't need to worry about anybody else bothering him. That's how you tell someone's high ranking. They get whatever they want.
Just how did Rocky get to be the alpha male?
That's the ultimate political story. Rocky was a nerd.
Nerd?
But snow monkeys, you can raise yourself to a high rank from a very low-ranked family. If you're ambitious and hardworking and clever, you have to be quite bright, you can raise your rank. So Rocky figured an excellent strategy, which was he started carrying the 3-month-old infant of the alpha female, of the queen. The queen's name was Hatchet-Face. So every time he would get into a kerfuffle, Hatchet-Face would help him out.
Get into what?
Into a kerfuffle, any kind of disagreement.
I like the word kerfuffle. I get in kerfuffles all the time.
Yes. Kerfuffle's a common human problem, too.
Yeah.
So any time that Rocky would get into a kerfuffle, Hatchet-Face, the queen, would help Rocky out because Rocky was always carrying her tiny baby.
He is smart.
Then when he got to be the number 2 ranked male, he put that baby down. He never carried another baby, doesn't even like kids. Now, when the old male, Suma, died, Rocky was number 2, and he was elected king.
Like politicians.
Exactly. You kiss a baby, it's the same thing.
Their society provides great insight into our own. But we can also learn something from these transplanted monkeys that can help the survival of many threatened species of animals.
In truth of fact, we're eating up our environment, as you know better than I. And if we're going to save any species at all, we're going to have to start transplanting and relocating. And this is, in the world, one of the very few times you can look at 20 years of data on a species that's been radically transplanted.
The key to their success in the wide open spaces, Lou believes, is that these monkeys were wild to begin with and are still free to learn and adapt to a new home, where everything from weather to predators to food is so very different.
Mikey. Mikey. For me, it's sort of like an addiction because every day is a different story. I started here as a PhD project and just never could bring myself to leave. Hi, Cricket. It's a whole different culture, it's a whole different world. It's living as close as you can to a different species.
In Texan language, I guess you'd say that feeding all those monkeys plumb tuckered me out. But I won't ever forget my day in Dilley, Texas. 500 monkeys, 2,000 pounds of produce, 2 children, and one very extraordinary lady. In the once untamed and unspoiled wilderness areas of the world, open spaces are disappearing. The natural homelands of many wild animals are being cut off by fences and highways. Cities are rising up on grazing lands and hunting grounds. And so here, where there's still room left and people who care, many endangered species from around the world have found a refuge, deep in the heart of Texas. The Navajo Nation Zoo is located in Window Rock, Arizona. This zoo's philosophy is not based on science or zoology. It's based on the idea about animals of the Navajo people and the important part these animals play in their culture. The Navajo people have a rich tradition of oral history and have many legends describing the creation of their world. In the Navajo tradition, people are thought to be descendants of animals, and animals are given the same respect as one would give to one's elders who are older and wiser. Individual animals are noted for having extraordinary powers, and each of the animals that reside at the Navajo Nation Zoo have a special place in the Navajo culture. I had the honor of meeting Sunny Dooley, who is devoting her life to storytelling, to pass on the Navajo's history to the tribe's future, their children.
I think it's just important to let children know that they should live in harmony with the animals because they are a part of the animal and the animal is a part of them. And from then, we learn lessons in our lives. All these animals that are here in this zoo are on Navajo land. So it means that they live where you live. And a long time ago, when they were given clans, each one of you have a clan, right? And each clan has a guardian animal. And the bear is one of them.
Now the clans, again, what is your clan?
My clan is Todik Onje, or saltwater.
Now that's the insect clan?
No, that's not an insect clan. It's the saltwater clan.
Oh, I see. I'll get this straight here in a minute.
Okay. Right over here, there's a bear. And some of you know it in Navajo, and it's called shush. They say a long time ago, the bear, he overslept and got up really fast, and he says, oh, no, the sun is coming up. And he put on his shoes the wrong way. And so when you notice a bear track, it looks like he has on his shoes on the wrong way. And that's why the bear looks like that to this day.
That's something. I thought I knew everything about animals. That's why the bear's feet look like they're...
Yeah. So the bear's feet always looks like he has his shoe on the wrong side foot.
Next, we visited a character from the Navajo legends, whose behavior is watched pretty carefully. What is this here?
This is the coyote. In Navajo, we call him ma'i.
Mahi?
Ma'i, yeah. And he's one of the animals that bring us a message or give us a word of caution. And so when this particular animal crosses our path, we always make sure that we say a prayer or sing a song so that we can go on our way.
Oh.
We have a lot to learn from Coyote, because he's always up to no good. These animals all have a special meaning for us, and we feel that they are a part of us and we are a part of them. From this point of view, we have a tremendous amount of respect for animals.
Now, what are the sheep for the Navajo people?
Well, the sheep in Navajo for quite a long time have symbolized like the livelihood, because from it we eat, from it we have our clothing, and also an economy, you know, based on the wool and also the rugs that is woven from the sheep hair, the wool. So it's a pretty strong animal in our culture, because a lot of our life is based around it, sort of like the buffalo was to the Plains Indians.
What about marriage? Is there such a thing of giving sheep for a daughter? Or?
Yeah, you could, but it's kind of like low on the totem pole.
Well, I didn't do too well, I guess. Only had 3 sheep.
Unless, of course, if you have like 500 of them, you know, and you bring that as a gift, you know, then that's decent.
Then I could marry you, right? For 500 sheep?
For 5? No, I don't think so.
I haven't got a Cadillac.
You'd have to talk to my father.
Okay. Oh boy, I don't want to do
The Navajo respect the owl. They don't like to have it appear near their home or anything like that, because usually it's a messenger. It brings a message of warning or caution. Of course, we don't purposely, you know, try to look at the owl or anything, because we feel that the owl is a very wise animal and an all-knowing animal.
So it's a warning then?
Yeah, so it tells you warning. And so they say that if you have an owl come near your home or fly in your path, you have to look at what you're doing. Maybe you're doing something wrong. And they say that if an owl hoots 3 times, you have to take it very seriously. If it hoots more than 3 times, then you can kind of relax and say, well, okay, I'll do something about it. Because usually it's indicating something in your behavior that isn't right.
Let's get out of here.
Before it starts hooting.
Yeah.
The Navajo people look at animals in a very different kind of way. We look at their beauty and we look at their grace, but we also look into the spirit of the animal, because it's the spirit that heals our spirit if we are in pain or if we are hurting. It's the spirit of the animal that we seek.
What does the eagle, I've always heard about the eagle with Indian culture. What does that mean?
It's a very powerful symbol for all native cultures, but the eagle, particularly for the Navajo, it's the most powerful animal, we feel, because he's all-knowing and all-wise, and we try to feel like we can be powerful like an eagle. It's something to aspire to, and we use it to tell our children that this is what we want them to be like: powerful, strong, and always looking for the highest ideal. And Jared was also telling me before we just walked up to the fence here, and he says, this is what protects us. And, you know, so the teaching of the eagle starts young, because it's something that we hold very sacred in our beliefs, along with all the other animals.
I tell you what let's all do. Let's all thank Sunny for taking us through the zoo today, all right? Let's thank her. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How do you say thank you in Navajo? Yaha.
Yeah.
Yaha. Yes.
Yaha.
Yaha. Let's go to the bus.
Each animal is sacred in our culture, because we don't live above them, we don't live below them, but we live with them. And if each of these animals has a lesson to teach us, when they disappear, where do the lessons go? They are gone. And in that way, we are losing a part of our teaching, we're losing a part of our culture and our tradition. And we value all of the life that is around us. The animals, the plants, everything is sacred. Yo, yo, hey, anai, yo, nai, yo, yo, oh, way, anai, ya, yo, oh, way, anai, ya, hey, ne, ya.
Anheuser-Busch Theme Park's Conservation Moment. The pledge made real.
Education is essential to wildlife conservation. Busch Gardens of Tampa hosts a special program that puts local children in touch with the world's wildlife.
Does anybody know what the word extinct means?
Not living anymore, not living anymore.
That's right. You know that black rhinoceroses are almost extinct? There's not that many left in the world. Do you know why they're dying?
Why?
Because people, you see these horns? People are killing them for these horns.
Zoo Camp is a day camp program for children. The purpose is for the children to have a good time, but also to learn a lot about the wonderful animals we have here in the zoo.
Left my hair!
One of the things we want the children to realize is that if animals do not have a place to live that provides them with the room, the soil, the air, the plants that they need, that those animals are either going to have to move somewhere else or maybe become extinct.
And this is the black spider monkey. And there's just one type of animal that lives in the rainforest. Because you know that 2/3 of all of our species come from the rainforest.
I learned other things, how things need things to grow like the sun. You can't waste water.
We want the children to realize that everything that's on the face of the earth is important to the functioning of this ecosystem. We hope that the few concepts that they glean during Zoo Camp, as well as the fun that they have, will help them now to do little things at home to help out, but then that they will grow up to become responsible and conscientious voters and consumers.
Anheuser-Busch Theme Parks, the pledge made real.